So while we get into your story about the cell energy, the Super 10, and what it's doing for you.
You know what? I'm excited to share. I'm always excited to share what the vitamin sprays are doing for me. I'm always excited to hear what the vitamin sprays are doing with everyone else. But with the cell energy, that was the one spray I was not taking on the regular because it was promoted as having so much, give you so much energy. And I thought about Testimonial, Mr. Showtime. Oh, my goodness. That cell energy just had him ready to take off flying like Superman. So I figured I didn't really need that much more energy because I'm full of a lot of energy. So I figured I didn't need that much more. But don't let that fool you. Cell energy is not just to give you energy. As a matter of fact, I was taking it before going to bed, and I still slept very well. So let me tell you what my testimony is. Last Thursday, I noticed I went to stand up I was doing some work, went to stand up from my desk, and my left arm was very painful. I was like, ooh, I felt this pain in my elbow area of my arm, and I just kind of ignored it, try to move on. And then I thought maybe I was sitting too long or using it in the wrong area, and I just got maybe kind of sick or maybe pulled a muscle or something, like that. I figured it'd be gone within 20 minutes or so. But as the day progressed on, it was getting worse. And by the time we were having our TTP last Thursday, I couldn't lift my arm. And as guests were coming in, I went to greet them, to embrace them, and I couldn't lift my arm to embrace them. And Robert came in, and his wife Yolanda, and I went to embrace him. I said, Robert, I can't lift my arm. And he kind of grabbed my arm and kind of shook it a little bit. And I said, oh, it hurts, So I went through Thursday. I figured maybe it'd be better by tomorrow. But Lord, family, I woke up Friday. Oh, my Lord in heaven. Oh, Jesus. My arm was so sore. I was really screaming. I was in so much pain. I mean, it hurt. On a scale of 1 to 10, the pain was an 11. I could not lift it. I couldn't turn my hand. I couldn't lift my hand. Like if I was sitting and my hand was on my leg, I couldn't lift my hand from my leg without using my other hand to lift it up. That's how bad pain was. I mean, it hurt. It hurt. When I think about that pain, it just hurt. And so this was on Friday, which of course was the 4th of July. I tried to just kind of ignore it. I don't know what I was thinking. But I figured maybe, I may have bumped it or it felt like I had a broken bone. That's how bad it felt. And it was the 4th of July. I didn't want to go to the emergency room because I didn't want my children to be worried about their mom being in the hospital on the 4th of July. So I went through this pain, and then Saturday came. It had not gotten better. It was worse, and I had my elbow was swollen. It was like this little bulge was around my elbow. So I went through the pain on Saturday. I kept trying to think, well, if I can just make it to Monday, I can get to my doctor's office because I just did not want to go to the emergency room. I don't like the express of emergency rooms. You go in there, you wait 4 or 5 hours, and you all know how that is. I didn't want to go through that. So Monday morning, as soon as I get up, I call my doctor's office first thing Monday. That's why I wasn't on the call Monday morning. I called Nikisha, and Nikisha opened up the call for me. Got to go to the hospital. My doctor's office brought me in on an emergency basis, examined my arm, and she, did her little fingers walking through. She was feeling for broken bones because she knew the level of pain I was suffering. So when she diagnosed what it was, and what it was was bursitis. It was bursitis, and bursitis is like a inflammation around your elbow joint. It's like this little sac of inflammation, and that's what causes the pain. And so she asked me, when she diagnosed what it was, she said, well, what have you been taking for the inflammation? She said, when did it start? I said, it started last Thursday. She said, well, what were you taking for the inflammation? Because if it started last Thursday, and if you were not taking anything, it would be unbearable. In other words, she wouldn't be able to touch it if I hadn't been taking anything. And I'm telling you, Sammy, the only thing I started taking, and this is what I did on Saturday. I started thinking, I said, you know what? Maybe I should take the cell energy because the cell energy is good for inflammation. I started taking the cell energy on Saturday. When I took the cell energy, I noticed maybe a couple hours later, I noticed that the pain was a little bit more bearable. A little bit more bearable. I thought, that's weird. I said, so I actually thought it was clearing up. And so I didn't take it anymore. I waited till Sunday. I took the cell energy again. And each time I took the cell energy, I would notice that the pain was a little bit more bearable. So when she examined me on Monday, she knew I was taking something for the inflammation because it had already started to, it was already getting better. And the only thing that I was taking was the cell energy. And she was telling me that through science, it's not nothing to play with. And the way that it's normally treated, you either have to, have an ice pack. You're supposed to put an ice pack on it the first day that you realize that it's there. So you're supposed to use the ice pack several times a day. You're supposed to have compression, like you use the ACE wrap to wrap it. And she suggested that I take anti-inflammation medications, of course, or they would have to drain the fluid, or you'd have to take steroid injections. So she wanted to give me steroid injections, which of course I was not going to do that. So she said, what have you been taking? I said, well, the only thing I'm taking are these sprays. She said, what sprays? She said, sprays? I said, yeah, I have this spray called Cell Energy, and it's got this ingredient called glutathione. She said, glutathione? What is glutathione? I said, well, it helps with inflammation. And I said, I'm also taking this, and I was taking the Super-10 also. I said, the Super-10, that has aloe vera gel. I said, that helps with inflammation, right? She said, let me see that. So she took the Cell Energy and the Super-10. She looked at the ingredients, put her glasses on, she looked at it, she wrote it down, and she left out the room to go research glutathione. She had never heard of it. She went out to go research it. I mean, she left me in the room to go research. And so when she left out, I called Pastor Dale. I said, Pastor, I'll put you on speakerphone. So when the doctor comes back, I want you to hear what she's saying, about the glutathione and what I'm going through here. And so I had Pastor Dale on the speakerphone. I let him share what he heard when she came back into the room. But I was so blown away. She was like, it almost like she forgot that she was there examining me when she saw these sprays. And she said, I never heard of these sprays. This is interesting. What is this? And she was writing down the ingredients. She said, wow. But when she came back, what she did, she said, well, I can't promote her to anything about miracle drugs or anything like that, which I never said it was a miracle drug. That's what she said. I don't know what she found when she went out there. She says, well, what I suggest you do is that you take some Adlib. You got to get cross-counter drug medication. Take some Adlib that would help with inflammation. And she gave me some other medications she suggested that I take because I didn't want the steroid injection. And she said, if it's not better within a week, you're going to have to come back, and we're going to have to give you the steroid injection, which is what she said. I said, well, what about the glutathione? What do you think about that? She says, well, I don't know anything about it, so I can't speak on that. So I left her alone about that. So when I left there, I felt good knowing that it was something that the sprays could help me with. And so what I did, she wanted me to take the Adlib 3 times a day. She said, you got to take it. It's already going to get in your system so that it'll work. So I just started taking the Cell Energy 3 times a day, in the morning, and in the evening. And I'm telling you, family, yesterday the inflammation was gone. It was like gone. It was gone. It was gone. And I was just, but each day as I was taking the Cell Energy, I could feel each day the pain was leaving. I was able to move my arm more. I was lifting it more because I didn't want it to get stiff by keeping it in the same position. But I noticed each day I would take 4 sprays of the Cell Energy in the morning at 1 o'clock and then in the evening. And I would even take it at night before going to bed. So that's how I know it doesn't really keep you up. And so I took that, and each day my arm was moving my arm while I was lifting it up because I couldn't even lift my arm to the point where I could, put my hair in a ponytail. I was trying to do my hair, and I couldn't use that hand to lift it up to do anything. And so each day as I took the spray, it's feeling better. I'm lifting it, I'm bending it, I'm straightening it out. And so today I looked at, I looked at my elbow, and the puffiness where the swelling was is gone. I can see my elbow. I'm moving my arm. And the only thing I was taking was the Cell Energy and the Super-10. So that Cell Energy is amazing. It works right away. And I'm so glad to see I don't have to get steroid injections. I don't have to go in, because that could lead to, she told me other things it could lead to if it didn't clear up. But I'm here to say I'm doing good, family. I'm doing good. And when it comes from, she said it comes from repetitively using your arm over and over in that same position. and which is why you're not going to see me on Facebook in a little while or checking as much. I'm rested. I don't know. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to rest in a little while.
Well, I tell you what, when the doctor came back in and I was on speaker, and she came back in and she said, well, I don't know. She said, I can't speak to any miracle drugs that's out there or supplements. She says, so I'm going to give you this to take this. And I said to myself, here she is and said, I can't speak to anything else, but I can give you some prescription. I can prescribe something for you. I believe in this. No, I can't speak to any of the other stuff. And it was just amazing how she didn't know anything about glutathione. She'd never heard anything about glutathione, but she was excited about going to do the research. And I don't know what kind of research she went out there and did, who she went out there to talk to, because when she came back in, she had a little different attitude about herself. But to let you know how much pain she is, that Pastor Denise was in, I sent her a couple text messages on, I think, Saturday night and Sunday. And a couple of them slipped by her. She normally responds to my texts right away. And I didn't get a response at all from the text message. I was like, what's going on? Something going on. That's not like her not to respond to my texts. And then so when I finally talked to her Sunday night, she was in such pain. And she's like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to have to go to the doctor tomorrow. Just pain. And so she went on Monday, and she kept on taking it. She's feeling better. Now, let me tell you, somebody feeling better. They're feeling good. When I called to her on Tuesday, I said, where you at? She said, oh, I'm out here at Tyson's Corner. I'm out here shopping. So she was feeling better. She's out there shopping at Tyson's Corner, one of the upscale gallerias out here in the Washington area. She out there, and the kids out there buying up everything. I said, oh, yeah, you feeling better for sure. You got out here shopping, So, but it just goes to show you, we got something that's powerful that even, some of the medical professionals don't even know anything about. They can only give you what they know to give you. They can't really speak articulately and educatedly about the products we have because they don't know about them. But, as Pastor Denise said, if I was going to take the Eleve 3 times a day, well, let me just take my Cell Energy and my Super 10 3 days a week, three times a day. And it's been working so far, and you see how the results have come in. So these are testimonies. Every day we get a new testimony about things that's happening, and now we're starting to hear more and more about this Cell Energy.